City of Light had the lead, and they cut the corner and open up. City of Light puts away Accelerate with an eighth of a mile to go.
When looking at the handicap division, obviously it's wide open with City of Light, the winner of the Pegasus, and Accelerate being retired and sandwiched in between the runner-up. Seeking the Soul will stay in training, and technically he would be the leader right now amongst the horses currently in training. Bravazzo was fourth, and then you have Audible in fifth, and some of these other horses, Gunnevera, who ran sixth, as being possible contenders. Yoshida didn't run as well in the Pegasus Turf as everybody would have liked. Keep in mind, Gunnevera and Yoshida finished second and fourth behind Accelerate, respectively, in the 2018 Breeders' Cup Classic, and a lot was expected of them coming into these Pegasus World Cup races. So those two horses are sort of floating in limbo. McKenzie, after the disaster in the Breeders' Cup, recovered, winning the Malibu, and at press time of this podcast was going into the gate for the Sam Pasquale Handicap. It'll be very interesting to see if he can consolidate his win in the Malibu, which was the last grade one of the year for 3-year-olds in 2018, in the San Pasquale, and prove himself to be a horse that's on the rise and can have one of these, glorious campaigns a la like Accelerate or California Chrome. And, you could talk about other great horses like Cigar and so forth and go down the list. Is he that kind of a horse? He's a son of Street Sense, the 2007 Kentucky Derby winner. And so that'll be very, very interesting. Right now, he, along with Axelrod, who was fourth in the Malibu, at a distance that probably isn't Axelrod's best trip. He wants more added ground, at least. It seems like at least up to a mile and an eighth we can conclude off his back class that he can at least go 9 furlongs. Now, to what level and what extent and where that puts him on the tote board in terms of being able to get his picture taken in the winner's circle or be in that mix, he in the top 3 in some high-end races, performing at a very, very high level, is to be determined. His next route race will definitely, his next couple starts will know a lot more about him. I'm thinking that he is a horse that you're looking at that wants ground. And then from there, Bravazzo, is Wayne Lukas going to go out to the West Coast? Remember, back in his heyday, at the peak of his powers, he was running horses all over the country, and quite oftentimes he would be there to make the trip, even though, as you know, these trainers have great assistants. In the case of Bob Baffert, Jimmy Barnes, and for years and years, Todd Pletcher had his string, as well as Todd Pletcher being one of Wayne Lukas's assistants. So it'll be interesting to see if Wayne decides to look at some of these races that he loved and coveted back in the day out in California. It wouldn't surprise me if he decides, to maybe get Bravazzo in a race like the Santa Anita Handicap. I don't know if Dubai is on the menu, but maybe maybe even the Stru before the Santa Anita Handicap. I'm thinking the Santa Anita Handicap. Or is he going to keep it pretty much East Coast based, which obviously the Oaklawn Handicap is in play if he doesn't go to Dubai, and some of the races in Kentucky and so forth. And then New York would be kind of the excursion, would be the road trip, at least based on Wayne's schedule. So he's a horse that you can look at. But I think a lot of people, it's safe to say that nobody is absolutely, their spines are tingling, and the hearts are beating a little faster than normal. The irregular heartbeats and the sensational feeling is not being generated by these horses. There's no question about that. And so the handicap division is absolutely wide open. And right now, I think McKenzie is going to be the horse that, in my mind, is going to be the number one. But there's a lot, that can happen in the next few months. And we're just going to have to wait and see. Certainly, no one's really drawing, a short list based off the Pegasus, considering that the horses that ran the best, 2 of them are going to be retired, the number 1 and the number 3, City of Light and Accelerate, with Seeking the Soul, as I said before, aforementioned, sandwiched in. And everybody, is probably got a question mark as to how good he is, but he has been very good in his last 3 races with the ACAC prior to the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, where he ran second to City of Light in this race, and he's proven that he can run at Churchill and at Gulfstream, and he's run on different surfaces, fast track, off track. So what will be next for him? Does he go to Dubai? Does he stay more regional and run in, say, as I said before, the New Orleans or the Oaklawn Handicap? And what will be the plan for him? So Dallas Stewart will certainly probably announce that at some point, and we'll certainly, you know, let everybody know if you don't already by the time you see another one of these podcasts on the CS Racing Report. But anyway, that's the handicap division. Right now, in my book, I'm picking McKenzie to be the top handicap horse. It's very, very early. It's going to be, you know, basically blow by blow, race by race, as to, you know, exactly where everybody's thoughts and feelings on these horses are going to lie.
And it's the Breeders' Cup winner. It's Arrogate in front, leading by 3 with an eighth of a mile to go. But what a race! What a sport! What a horse! Arrogate rocks in the Pegasus. He won it by 3.5 while confidently handled. It's Gunrunner in front. He'll go out a winner. He's the horse of the year, and he's Gunrunner with an unforgettable performance in the Pegasus World Cup. He won by 2.